Merry Christmas and welcome to another edition of Between the Lines, fueled by Gatorade. I'm Gabe. That's Ben. The Minnesota Vikings win 27-24 in another dramatic walk-off fashion by Greg Joseph, 61-yarder, the longest field goal of his career. And Ben, I didn't think – I keep saying this. I don't think a game could get better than the week before as Durante Jones, defensive back coach for the Minnesota Vikings, yells at us really quick. I want to start off just by talking about this atmosphere, right? Like a whiteout. First time ever in franchise history we wore white jerseys at home in a regular season game. You got the memo. I got the memo.
Yeah, you got the memo, sort of.
I got a little bit of beige on. But just the atmosphere being on the field, what was it like for you?
I got to say that we have a really compliant fan base.
True.
They've had a couple weeks to get ready for this whiteout game, but everybody came prepared. Everybody was in white. I saw a lot of creative white outfits. Yeah. I think the best ones were like the cowboy outfits with like the full-on cowboy hat, white cowboy hat. Did you see some of those guys?
I didn't see that.
Oh, I saw a guy and his son looking like Boss Hogg with all white with the white cowboy hat. It was great. So everybody, a couple guys that looked like, painters. They called themselves, I think, the Purple People Painters.
Huh.
So it was kind of creative stuff. Everybody had fun with it. The crowd, as always, is loud. The players look sweet.
Yeah.
They look super fly and swaggy and all that other buzzwords, icy and all that. So I'm sure they felt good. The crowd was into it. It felt like a college game a little bit. Yeah. It was cool.
It was very cool, and you just used a bunch of adjectives to describe the atmosphere. But you used another adjective when it came to describing this game. You used the word weird.
Yeah,
Why?
It was weird because, looking at this Giants team, I know that they are a potential playoff team. I just didn't think that they were really in our league. Mm-hmm. And they came out and they were predictable in everything that we thought they were going to be. Defensively, we knew they were going to blitz. Yeah. They showed a lot of blitzing. We knew that they like to play man coverage, especially on third downs and got to have it downs. They did that. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of things that I expected that showed up. And I'm like, okay, we're going to take advantage of that. That's not a great run defense over there. We didn't really run the ball much outside the first quarter. We had 41 yards in the first quarter. That's great.
Yeah.
And then we had 4 yards on 5 carries in the second quarter. Okay.
Wow.
And then we didn't really pick up any sort of momentum on the ground as the game went on. So why did we go away from the run game? And then because we kind of just let these teams hang around. We give up 445 yards as a defense, but yet we get 2 takeaways near the red zone. It was like
and a block punt.
So there's like things to like, but also things like, why are we giving up again so many yards on the middle of the field, inside breaking routes? I just thought the whole thing was weird, and then it was just a routine 61-yard walk-off that just it's just kind of how our season's been going.
Yeah, and you add on the fact that this I guess today's game marked the 10th time that this Minnesota Vikings offense did not score a touchdown in the third quarter. For you, though, defensively, what was more surprising? The fact that we gave Daniel Jones 300 passing yards, that we gave up 300 passing yards, or the fact that Saquon Barkley had over 150 all-purpose yards?
I actually expected them to lean on Saquon a little bit more.
Okay.
I mean, he's as close to like a 5-tool player that the NFL has, using a baseball term here, that he can kind of do it all. Now, I'm assuming he can pass, but he really can do everything when it comes to what a running back can do. He can run with power and speed, elusiveness. He can catch out of the backfield. He's a nightmare in the open field. I just thought that they would lean on him a little bit more. Yeah, at the end of the day, having 150 yards total offense is great. I thought they would at least attempt for him to get over 100 yards on the ground, steal a possession or two, win the time of possession, be a little bit more efficient. But they decided to attack through the air. And look, Pat P jumps a route and gets the ball and picks the ball off. And then we get another forced fumble earlier than that from Brian Asamoah. So we're making plays in the passing game where I think they should have stuck to the ground game.
Yeah, I mean it was. It was very weird, but it was also just a draining game compared to, last week where, the emotions were high. Everybody was high off of, winning a 33-point comeback, largest comeback in NFL history. And then I know you talked to Kevin O'Connell and you said his mood just seemed kind of tired. So it kind of matched the energy. What did he say to you?
Obviously really proud of his team. I think he was a little frustrated that they didn't execute a little bit better on some of the blitzes that they expected. He made it the point be known that It was all things they prepared for. It was really nothing that they didn't expect. They saw the split safety looks a lot of times that they were expecting. But he was just really happy with the guys when they needed it. Once again, they made plays when they had to. Kirk really stepped up and made plays. You know, that final drive with 2:01 left in the game to attempt the game-winning kick. You know, they had 2 opportunities where they saw the blitz and they executed beautifully. So as frustrated as he was a little bit with the blitz execution and pickup, when we needed it the most, we did it. And he said, you know, basically the same thing as I was saying as far as the defense goes. Don't want to give up all those yards. But they did a great job on third down, and they got the 2 takeaways as well.
They did what they had to do, and sticking on Kirk Cousins, staying on Kirk Cousins. I had a coach that always told me a perfect route and a perfect ball beats perfect coverage every single time. That kind of explains the 17-yard Justin Jefferson touchdown on 3rd and 10. Kirk Cousins, of course, it was a whiteout game today. I feel like his jersey coming into today's game was like your shirt.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the game, it was like my blazer right here. It was beige. Keeping him clean. What were your thoughts on just his play of, you know, staying in the pocket and still delivering some of those throws?
You know, a couple times I wish he would have just gotten rid of the ball and not maybe taken the sack. I thought he did a really good job a couple other times feeling the pressure and stepping up in the pocket. So by and large, you know, some things you could have liked a little bit better. But, you know, again, that route that you're talking about, that 17 yards to JJ, I mean – that comes from experience with the crafty wide receiver. It had to be thrown with velocity and had to be thrown with accuracy. That safety was right there. I don't think a lot of quarterbacks in that look would see an outside trailing corner right on his hip, a safety over the top and inside. That's a bracket coverage. And he's got to fit that ball in there right now with accuracy and trust his wide receiver is going to be there to make the play. I thought it was phenomenal. And again, going back to that final drive, that third down where he throws it to JJ, he throws that ball before he even makes the break. JJ gets to the top of his route. He feels the pressure, throws it to a spot. JJ makes a play. That comes with relationship and the expertise that they've built in practice.
That comes with trust also. And a guy that a lot of us is starting to trust a lot more is Danielle Hunter. 2 sacks today. In my opinion, I think it was his best game as a Minnesota Viking this year. Just his pressures, what he did in the run defense. For you being on the field, what did you see that impressed you?
That he saw what he saw on film and went out and executed. Like he knew that Evan Neal, their right tackle, was susceptible to speed rush. He knew that he was a better athlete than what they had on their offensive line. So, you know, that first sack, it was just a speed rush up the field. He felt a little bit of the quarterback, Daniel Jones, you know, breaking the pocket, trying to step up. He just long arms him, shoves him right by, and goes and makes a play. I just think that he relied on what he does best. And I think getting after it with speed to power, speed to finesse, that's what he does best.
Here, you got to put the man in the middle.
Look at this guy.
Another 100-yard game, man.
Hey, man, it's crazy. It feels like it's too easy now, huh?
We say the same thing.
It looks easy for us. Just why it's like, okay, we expect Justin Jefferson to get another 100-yard game, and he doesn't. And another guy that got a 100-yard game with him, if JJ can come back, was T.J. Hawkinson. TJ just being himself out there.
He stopped paying attention.
JJ's not coming back. It was
He's on his phone now.
It was wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. But T.J. Hawkinson, most receptions by a tight end today in franchise history. I believe he had 13 receptions today, 109 yards, two tutties.
2 tutties.
Your thoughts on just him being the game changer that we knew he would be when we traded for him right before the trade deadline this year?
You know, I was really excited because as I was breaking down this game, I was like, look, their safeties and their 2 inside linebackers, outside Landon Collins, when they'd bring him in sub package, they can't cover him. And if you're gonna
Wes Phillips, I've got Wes Phillips.
Good job, Wes.
Good job, Wes.
and if you're gonna try to put a safety on TJ, well then that's gonna open up single coverage to JJ and KJ and Thielen. So I'm like, good luck with your linebackers and or Landon Collins. So I thought the mismatch was there from the beginning of the game. And obviously the offensive staff saw the same thing. They went after him. I think he had 16 targets on the 13 catches. So they had a plan. They stuck with it, and good on TJ for executing it.
All right, my last thing for you before we get out of here, it's starting to shape up that this Packers game next week is going to mean a lot. The Detroit Lions lose today. We're hoping the 49ers lose to the Commanders.
Yes.
We get another lead. We get another, I guess, game ahead for that 2 seed.
Please, Heineke, please.
Please, Heineke. But this Packers game next week, they play the Miami Dolphins tomorrow. Hopefully, You know what? Hopefully that game goes as it may be. What do you think about just going to Lambeau in the cold, these conditions, and I guess killing their playoff hopes?
Oh, it'd be great
once and for all.
It'd be awesome. I mean, there's a couple things there. You know, the fact that you could go into Lambeau, get the Green Bay sweep, would feel good for the players, the organization, the fans, just because of the rivalry. To dash their playoff chances, that's awesome too. Yeah. Then on top of that, if you stay the number 2 seed and you expect to win as many games as you can in the playoffs, and then maybe you have to play, let's say it's Philadelphia at their place, you want to feel like you're battle-tested in the elements. Yeah. So this will be a good opportunity, I think, for our team to go in a pretty hostile place, which we expect as of the current temperatures right now. It's going to be pretty cold next week as well.
Calor.
To go there and execute in a harsh environment, I think that's another win for this team as well, and give them a lot of confidence as they go in the playoffs, knowing that, hey, if you want to reach the Super Bowl, you're probably going to have to play on the road in another tough environment in bad weather.
Another win for this Minnesota Vikings team, 12-3. Ben, I don't know what to make up of this team outside of this team has fight. They have grit, and they know how to win games. And in this league, that's all that matters. So for Ben Leber, Ryan O'Neill, my name is Gabe Henderson. Thank you guys again for tuning into the 12-3 edition of Between the Lines, fueled by Gatorade.
And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I'm sorry.
Happy
guys.
holidays.